Okay, everybody. So now we're gonna. Oh, it's Carl again, by the way. Howdy. Um, so we're gonna just quick cover the power situation. So if you are in Yellowstone Park, you're pretty much going to be. Most of the campgrounds don't have power, right? There are. I think there's one of the new ones in maybe in Lake or Canyon. I'm not sure which one, but there is a newer one that does have power. But it's for most of those places you're in the park, you won't have power. So with that, you're going to be running off the batteries. There's two onboard batteries and the solar, which is going to keep those batteries topped off. And then you're going to have the um, power, the shore power, which you will use if you're in a campground that does have power on it. Okay. So the way that works is, oh, I forgot to mention the generator, of course. The generator, that's your other alternate power source. That's what you're going to use to keep your battery charged, like at night before you go to bed and whatnot. So this is, oh, let me flip. So when we look at this, we're back down in the wet bay here. Okay, this is where your holding tank drain stuff's at. But up here, you're going to see this plug in, and that's got a nice little coil of uh, wire there. This being plugged in the top, this is plugged into the generator power. So troubleshooting point here, pro tip: if you started your generator and there's no power happening on the inside, you may want to check and make sure that this pump or this plug is plugged in, because if the plug isn't plugged in, you're not going to get that power. So, um, but if you do get into a campground where you're going to be using power from the campground source, you're just going to take and undo this right here, right? And you got this big old plug in here, and then this is going to go into the corresponding receptacle in the power pole at the campground. We do have an adapter for, let me get this here, for 20 amp. This is a 30 amp power. We do have a plug here that can adapt to 20 amp, right? So you can use 20 amp, but it's just going to limit a little bit more about how much power you can use, like with regard to air conditioning being used at the same time as, for example, the microwave, right? So you wouldn't be able to do that. You could run the air conditioning probably, but better to have that 30 amp going um, for that. All right. So when you're done and you're leaving the campsite, part of your kind of tear down steps is to plug this back in here, right? Plug that back in there, and then you'll be sure to have power when you fire that generator up. Okay. All right. That's it on the power side of things. 30 amp, 20 amp. Okay. Those are the two. All right. I'll see you on another video with fresh water, and how to get rid of those, or how to drain those holding tanks. Okay. See you soon. Thanks.